What's up, everybody? I'm Stan, and welcome to Detail Comics, where we go over comics in detail. This is Comics Cafe, the weekly show where I grab my morning coffee, go over a few topics with you guys, fill you in on what's going on with the channel, and it gives me an opportunity to kind of communicate with you guys back and forth. So I'd have to say I'm sorry real quick, just because it's early in the morning, man. You know, that's when I grab my morning coffee, because I got to get to work on new video projects and things like that. And one of the things is that I've probably got like 5 or 6 different video projects that are going on for next week, so I'm really excited about those. Plus, I've got some brand new hardware and gear that's going to contribute to a new video series that I'm going to be doing. It's not going to be a very common series, at least to start off with, just because of the time that it's going to take, but I'm really excited to see what you guys think of it, so that's going to be pretty awesome too. The main topic that I wanted to talk about, I've talked about Doctor Strange, I've talked about comic book TVs and comic book movies, but one of the things that I haven't really talked about is comic books and like how comic books are distributed and how they go out into the community. My local comic book shop, which is Double Midnight Comics, they're awesome guys. They support me and like this video effort and stuff like that. They don't necessarily say sponsor, but they definitely know exactly what I'm doing. They, they make do with my extensive pull list, which I'm sure they're super happy about. But I was in and they had one of these old previews books. So this one is actually the November previews, which should be for the January solicitations. And they had it, and they're like, yeah, man, just take a look through that, see what else is coming up. So I was really interested in like this previews catalog, because this seems to be the basis for the way a lot of people order stuff. And the first thing that I noticed, because I'm familiar with previews, it's just that previews is just 2 books. That's all the comic books that are going out, plus merchandise like t-shirts and figurines and Funko Pops and stuff like that. But then there's also Marvel's own preview. So Marvel's has its own book for specifically their comic books and all their merchandise and stuff like that. So this stack right here is how most people order their comic books for the shop. And that's really kind of interesting because, first off, if you know that you want Marvel, then you grab your Marvel book and you go through and you can see all those kind of things that are coming out. And then if you want everything else, you grab this big, thick bad boy, which reminds me of like the JCPenney or the Sears catalog from when I was a kid. You younger guys, you might not necessarily know about that because it was all online, but anybody that's back in the day, they could probably remember like flipping through and finding toys and being like, oh my god, I want that. But one of the things is like, if I look at this, then ultimately, Dark Horse has got a bit of premium real estate up front, and then it's a giant section of DC, and then you go to IDW, and then there's Image, and then everything here, like all of this stuff from like this half of the book, is smaller independent titles, figures, action figures, books, and that's tough, man. So the reason that I say that it's tough is because if you're an independent comic label, and if you're not Image, if you're not IDW, if you're not even Boom Studios or Black Mask, you have very limited real estate to try and get the attention of the people that determine whether your comics get attention. So, like, if you're Aftershock, which has been producing a really good comic in Animosity, if you're Dynamite Entertainment, if you're, Zenoscope is kind of, they get their own kind of attention, but there's a whole bunch of different books. I mean, let's take a look at, like, ones that, alright, so there's Dynamic Forces, which is doing all their variant covers and things like that. You've got Bongo Comics, which has The Simpsons, Caliber Entertainment, there's Boom, there's Avatar Press, which I'm not necessarily sure who they are. There's Archie's in here. There's American Anthology. That's odd. So there's like probably dozens of comic book publishers that are in there that I didn't really necessarily know about, and I probably wouldn't have if they weren't assigned some sort of real estate in my local comic book shop. So you can find all that stuff online and whatnot, but this is probably the only way for you to really, truly, find out exactly what's coming out from publishers beyond Marvel, DC, IDW, Image, and places like that, unless you're like scouring the internet for that stuff. So as an independent publisher, it's one of those things where it's really tough probably to break into the market and really get the attention of people around there. So what I want to know is if you guys want to hit me up in the comments and tell me if there's any like kind of obscure independent books, like anything that you're not necessarily 100% on, but if you have an idea as to whether there's something that's coming out from Aftershock or Dynamic or Dynamite or anybody like that, if there's an independent book that you're like the only person that picks it up at your comic book shop, I want to know about it, because that sounds interesting. There's different things for different people, but ultimately the fact that we can kind of grow together as a community and share those kind of things, so that way we can bring more attention to other comic books, that's huge. That helps out other people. That helps create it helps get new readers into books that they might not necessarily have known about. It's a great way to build exposure and kind of bring the community together. So I'd really encourage that. If you want to hit me up in the comments down below and let me know about those books, I'd be more than happy to take a look at them. I'm always open to reading new books and seeing what kind of new content there is out there. And then you've got, in this first page of the Marvel's preview catalog, there happens to be this Monsters Unleashed spread. So, Monsters Unleashed, that's another event that's going to be going on. Plus, you've got all these new number ones, and you've got your IVX, and there's so much stuff going on in here. Previews was really something that kind of grabbed me by surprise, so I wanted to just chat about that for a little bit. The other thing I just wanted to chat about for a little bit is all of you guys that have just found me recently. I am so excited that you guys are here. I'm so glad that I'm getting the kind of support that I am, and I'm really excited about where things are going in the future. And I just can't say thank you enough. It's one of the coolest things. Like, it's awesome to know that people are out there. They're enjoying the kind of content that I'm putting out. I can't wait to talk about more stuff and go over more topics. What I want to do is I want to introduce a few different story type options. So another show that I want to do is origin stories. So origin stories is going to be the origin of an individual character or how an event started and those kind of things. And I kind of want to dig into that stuff. So if you guys want to hit me up in the comments down below and tell me if there's any kind of like origin stories that you're not necessarily sure of that you want to kind of hear about in the beginning, I am more than happy to do that. I've got a few ideas, but if there's something that you guys specifically want to see, I'm more than happy to try and put that together for you. The other thing is the story so far. So the story so far was one of the first video series that I tried to put out, and it was a lot of work at that point in time, and I didn't necessarily have a good workflow for it. But since I've been doing these other recent videos, regarding Ultimate Thor's Hammer and Amazing Spider-Man, Renew Your Vows, the concept and the practice has become a whole lot easier. So I'm planning on doing a lot more story recaps and things like that. So I'm really excited about the story so far. So if there's any kind of recent story arcs or older story arcs or anything like that you want to get a little bit more fleshed out, if you want to get a bit more details on them, then let me know about those as well. So hit me up in the comments below about that. One of the cool things, I'm going to try, because I've kind of hit my limit. So these past 2 weeks have kind of been my limit at how many videos I can put out for the channel at once. And that means that I probably cap at about 5 review videos. So I can't really touch on too many. But I've got a few ideas as to what I want to review every single week when it comes out. But if you guys want to, when I put out preview picks on Monday, just hit me up in the comments and let me know if there's a book that you specifically want to review on. And then the more likes that comment gets, or the more comments that I get with that particular book, that is going to be a book that I'm going to add to the list of reviews. And I'm probably going to try and do like a bonus review or bonus review or 2 or 3 on Saturday instead of Thursday, where I can take a little bit more time and flesh them out. So I'm going to try that concept. So if you guys want to just give me a little bit of feedback on Mondays when I put out preview picks, that would be huge. I would love to do that for you guys, because I don't necessarily know what everybody wants to see. I know what I want to review, so that way I can make people aware. But if there's certain things that people want a little bit more insight in, I am more than happy to try and put that stuff together. So this is Comics and Coffee. I'm about to go shoot 6 more videos and put that content together for you guys. So wish me luck for the rest of my Sunday. Yeah. If you like what you see, hit the like button. If you want to subscribe and get more of that new, fresh content, hit the subscribe button right there. And make sure that you stick around if you want more news, reviews, and commentary on comic books, comic book movies, comic book TV shows, and games, and anything and everything having to do with the comics.